What's going on, everybody? We're back with a wild card edition of Pickin' Six. College football is over, and I am once again a happy man as my Georgia Bulldogs just went back to back national champions, beating TCU only 65-7. Guess it was kind of close, maybe a little bit. Covering that 13.5 point spread, covering 38.5 points as well, apparently, when the live spread was towards the end of the game. But yeah, man, how are you, Connor? Well, we're here. It's playoff time officially. The hunt for the Super Bowl is on.
Yeah, it's good. The Giants are playing this weekend, so definitely interested in that game. But more importantly, how does it feel to be a champion again?
It's funny, like in my fantasy football group chat, somebody like congratulate, like somebody said congratulate, told me good job or something, like as if like. But here's the thing: it's like putting in support for this team is a full-time job. Let's not get it twisted. I've dedicated my heart and soul in suffering for the University of Georgia, and now I'm seeing the dividends of my hard work. So, we could maybe a three-peat is on the table. David Pollock said it live right in front of Nick Saban that Georgia might just own college football now. Stetson Bennett will not be playing as a 26-year-old. I guess they said he's going to try to enter the draft, and we'll see how that goes. But I mean, we should be all right next year. We got plenty of guys coming back, and that we had some 5 stars sitting behind him, so we should be okay. And some, the transfer portal always shakes things up, so we'll see what we get out of that. You never like come spring ball, we'll see what the roster looks like, but we should be, fit to make another run. We'll see. We could be the dynasty. It's kind of crazy to think about it, but I'm feeling great. This is last year's championship shirt. The new merch didn't come in. Of course, I got it as soon as the game was over. But yeah, you ready to hop right into it? It's wild card weekend. There's, honestly, one of the great, in my opinion, I think you will agree, one of the greatest weekends in the NFL season, just because of what all can happen. Wouldn't you agree?
Oh, for sure.
Like we've had some great plays, great memories. My most fond was Marshawn Lynch, going house against the Saints and just absolutely truck sticking their entire defense on wild card weekend. Never forget. But
and there are many more memories to be made this weekend and weekends in the future.
And that's the crazy thing. Is like there will be kids like this weekend could easily be like obviously it'll be fond memories for us to look on, but it's like up and coming like younger kids like fans of the NFL to like look back upon and like revisit like some you said core memories. I think that's pretty dope.
Yeah, it's gonna be like the David Tyree catch for like Giants fans and for like some young kids. Like their team's never gonna have a bigger game than this weekend.
Exactly.
In some cases. For
exactly. It's like the Philly special in the Super Bowl. Anything can happen. And let's jump right into it with a NFC. Yeah, this is an NFC West matchup. They're definitely to the same in the same division. We have the 49ers minus 9.5 against the Seahawks as it stands right now. The over-under is set at 42 flat. Very interesting matchup. Do we think the Seahawks have a chance to at least make it interesting? I know that the Niners are like, it's like the Niners and the Eagles are like the odds-on favorites to win the NFC. They're on opposite sides of the bracket. I think the Niners came in second and the Eagles came in first in the NFC. Not to brag. But what do you think about this one? It's going to be down in Santa Clara, Levi Stadium.
Two stats to throw out there that kind of like negate each other. Seahawks are 6-2 against the spread in the last 8 wild card games. 49ers are 8-0 against the spread in their last 8 against NFC West opponents. But I think Niners, I would be very shocked if they didn't win this game.
Mm-hmm.
I think the Seahawks would have to bring back like the Legion of Boom of years past in order to shut down the Niners offense.
Yeah.
Yes, it's Brock Purdy starting for this game, correct?
Well, yeah, I'm pretty sure. But he's not nothing to sneeze at, dude. He's not he's got them where. Listen, the Kyle Shanahan offense kind of runs itself, where it seems like as long as you're good enough, you can play in it and prosper. You know what I mean? So, well, that's something to think about.
Yeah, I think like they're like Brock Purdy's going to do enough. Like I think he's a good enough game manager, even this young in his career, where they'll get the job done. Like there's just so many weapons. McCaffrey's balling out. He's eighth in the league in rushing yards, 12th in rushing scores, and he's reeled in 85 catches for 741 yards, five tutties in the air. So, like that alone, Kittle's starting to put up production, or was towards the end of the season.
Hmm.
I I'm gonna go Niners to cover here. I just think like the Geno Smith show kind of lost its luster as far as like the really hot start they had to begin the season. Like that's kind of teetered away. Like yes, they've maintained, obviously made the playoffs, made it to wild card weekend, but I think they just kind of lost like the dynamics they had earlier on, which was an offense that kind of like based on the eye test seemed like it could hang with the 49ers defense, but now not really sure, and I don't think they have like really the momentum to put up enough points to stay with this
Hmm.
Niners team.
Yeah. So as far as head-to-head matchups, the Seahawks are 3-2 straight up of the last five meetings between these two teams, and it looks like the Niners are 3-2 against the spread in the last five of these matchups. Um, Looks like the over/under is about. Looks like the under is more common there. Looks like 3-2 in the last five. But one thing I've noticed is that the Seahawks are a massive under team, while the Niners are quite the opposite. The Seahawks have gone under four of the last five, and the Niners have gone over in four of the last five. So, I think that 42 number is probably right where it needs to be at. It's a matter of if the Seahawks will contribute to it. I think that the Niners will put up plenty of points, but you never know. Like Geno Smith has proved himself to be a starter in the league. After
100%.
many years of being a backup. We remember his days at West Virginia. Um, so I think that anything is possible here. Um, I can't take the Niners to cover 9.5 just because like that's in an NFL game. It's just too much for me. I may tease it down or maybe tease the total a little bit. Could tease a total up and then play it under. I kind of like that play there because you never know. Like the Seahawks may not score at all this game, so that could be my play there. Maybe I look at the under.
Yeah, I think total something you got to stay away from unless you have like a real inside scoop
Hmm.
there. Other than that, like I don't see value in either side. Like too many wild cards in this wild card weekend matchup.
Yeah, it's almost like that's the name of the game, right? But yeah, I feel you. Like, I'm not feeling anything too strong, but we wanted to break down the whole wild card. Give you guys maybe something to work with as far as stats or anything like that. But we like to talk about the whole slate. We don't have any college football now, so we're full steam ahead for NFL right through to the Super Bowl. So we may see some movement there, and there's definitely some. I will say this though, the Niners are a prop gold mine as far as George Kittle, McCaffrey, Debo, even Ayuk is a good look. I mean, McCaffrey's to score a touchdown is always a Kittle. Kittle's good for about 50, 60 receiving yards a game. Um, you know, let's see here. I can tell you actually right now. Um, yeah, George Kittle. So like the looks like his receiving yards will be roughly like 44.5 this weekend. That so he's two out of the last five. However, when he's gone over, he's gone way over, and with 93 and 120 receiving yards. So we could see some production out of him. Um, as far as McCaffrey is concerned, um, rush attempts is always a great bet for him as well. And then you just kind of play with some touchdowns. Somebody's going to find the end zone in the red and gold. That's what I think. I think like the look of looking at the Niners props is the way to go. If I had to say.
100%. Yeah, like I see. I think there's value in a Brandon Ayuk touchdown plus 220. as things stand right now. I think there's pretty
Mm-hmm.
good value there. Like McCaffrey at minus 160, I don't like. Obviously the most likely scenario as far as touchdown scores in this matchup. Like if we're going strictly value based, Elijah Mitchell, there that lies the value. But biggest value on this game, touchdown score wise, I think is Kittle. But he's got to go in the most, and in the air, really the best weapon for this Niners team. I think him and Brock Purdy have like a good relationship, good little banter with the press, but also like I think that only stems from a good relationship and a good connection on the field and in the locker room.
Mm-hmm. I would agree. Seems like Brock Purdy could very well be the guy. We'll see. I mean, you put on a performance like he has, and like how could you not at least give him a look as your starter next year? You draft him for a reason, right? You know what I mean? But that'll be a good game. NFC West matchup. Let's move right along here to a very interesting. We have the Jacksonville Jaguars in the playoffs. Trevor Lawrence and company got it done against the Tennessee Titans to take the the AFC South. I believe that's the division for them.
Yep.
Yeah, the AFC South. That sounds right to me. Um, yeah. The Chargers are minus 2.5 against the Jags. Looks like Jacksonville is going to be rocking. Duval is going to be rocking at the night game on Saturday. Over under is 47.5. A lot of experts are picking the Chargers and the points. How do you feel about that one?
I don't know. Like they've lost their luster at least from like my intrigue from last season. Like the offense, I don't know. There's something missing for me. Whether it's been like the injuries, obviously Austin Eckler, like really been balling this year, but I kind of like I like the Jags in
Yeah,
this. I'll take the Jags in the points.
let's go,
Like
dude.
ETN, like coming off of the
He's a
rookie
guy.
injury, he's a dog. He's a dog for sure. And Trevor Lawrence, he's putting it together. I think like even with the overpay of Christian Kirk, Mister No Hands, and Evan Ingram, but like they got enough there. In the tank, the defense is solid enough. Like I don't think the Chargers' offense is that impressive, as I kind of mentioned earlier. But yeah, I'll take the Jags and the points.
hmm Yeah, I see what you're saying. I think that the Chargers can get it done. They have Keenan Allen back in the lineup, you know. But you're right. Is Eckler confirmed out for this game?
I don't know. Honestly, didn't really look at it. I don't think that's like an indicator for me one way or another. Like
Yeah.
his status. Like even if he plays, I still like the Jaguars. I mean, like they're the underdog in this game. Like not saying this is the end all be all, but like the ESPN matchup predictor has the Jaguars winning outright at just under 61% probability,
Okay.
which I don't use that as my like choice of betting or like sole rationale. Like I saw that after the fact of me saying putting in my 2 cents on this one. Just think it's interesting when like the match predictor kind of contradicts what the spread is.
Yeah. I think I'm gonna stay heavy. I'm gonna go against you. I like the Chargers and the points here. Austin Eckler looks like he will be playing. Keenan Allen's in the lineup, and when Keenan Allen's playing, even if it was for less than half a season because it hurt my fantasy team, um, I think that this is our first time seeing Herbert in the playoffs. He is definitely the leader to take the Chargers to the next level. I know that they've been riddled with injuries all year, but you know, what makes it for interesting for me is not even anybody on any player on the Jaguars. It's one person, and that is Doug Peterson, the head coach of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Um, to me, that he he's called plays in a Super Bowl game and won it. You know what I mean? So that to me means something. but I think that the Chargers have just a little bit more talent out there on the field, and I like the Chargers and the points. But hey, listen, it's a healthy discourse goes a long way. You know, a lot of people may say that Connor and I just bet the same thing and call it a day, but no, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna take the Chargers here minus 2.5 in this AFC South wild card matchup. Any rebuttal there, Connor?
No, I don't hate it. I'm still staying fast and like on my side of this one.
Okay. Well, we're split there. I'm okay with that. So this is my question. Do you think that this number is the right number? Um, whether it's too
I
high, too
mean,
low.
given all that we know, like I don't well, all that I know, I don't know jack shit about whoever's starting for the Dolphins. But
Looks
even
good.
with like that, I don't remember the quarterback's name, but it's not Bridgewater, it's not Tua.
Oh
It's
God, then who is it? I don't even know. Wait, who?
it was like I don't like Tua was ruled out. I don't think Bridgewater's like healthy enough to play. Like they were what's his name? McDaniel was talking about this other guy like I saw on I don't know, something I was looking at like yesterday, earlier today, but no one like
Tyler Thompson.
yeah, no one who has NFL chops. I think this line kind of is where it should be because it
No,
is
I would definitely say you're right. I
weekend.
didn't even realize that it wasn't even going to be Teddy.
Yeah, so it's like the Bills haven't been like the Bills offense, like where they're going to put up like 40, 45 points. Like they're not going to like make this overhit by themselves. Like their
Hmm.
defense is good enough where like they're like Dolphins may get a touchdown or two, but it's like there's enough unpredictability here
Yeah.
where for me, like if I were to bet anything, I would probably bet the Bills to cover. Like I don't love it. Like yeah, it's wild, but it's the unknown. Like I don't know who the fuck this quarterback is. Like
I can tell you. Well, let's see. I can tell you who this quarterback is. Skylar Thompson he was a seventh round pick in the 2021 draft out of K State. Um, looks like was their starter. He threw for let's see, 7,000 yards at K State, 42 touchdowns, um, rushed for about 1,000 yards. Your typical Big 12 quarterback, but nothing crazy. Um, but I mean, definitely unproven in the NFL. That's for sure. He has a career 1 touchdown to 3 picks in the NFL. But especially with the Dolphins, also for a betting weapon of my choice that has been that won't be around is Raheem Mostert. His over yards and his anytime touchdown score prop has been very profitable for me this year for some reason. Um, but yeah, with the amount of injuries that the Dolphins are sitting here left with, you're right. 13. I think 13 is where it's supposed to be to at least get people to pick the Dolphins, or it's low enough to get people to bet on the Bills, but it's still baiting people to take the Dolphins. You know what I mean?
yeah, no, I hear you.
Because you want to be
Yeah,
20 points because nobody's got to bet on the Bills then.
no,
You know what I mean?
it's enough to get both sides where like Vegas isn't super exposed. I
Yeah.
don't know, like not an official pick, not a game like I really have a desire to bet. To be completely honest, like in any fashion, like props or otherwise. Like
Yeah.
if I had to lean, it would be Bills to cover, but probably just gonna stay away from this one.
Yeah. To me, I mean, my favorite Bills prop, you know, for the mobile quarterback that Josh Allen is, just over yards is my favorite one of my favorite bets to make. Stephon Diggs, he's good for usually 50 plus yards a game. He's gone over 103 of the last 10. Um, and he's gone over 102 of the last 5 home games. So Stephon Diggs is always a good look. Gabe Davis. The running back situation is a little iffy in Buffalo because they have a committee. Yeah, I know Singletary's like their guy, but they still have, James Cook, in there, here and there. So we'll see. But I think like the Bills props are going to be probably where I lean in that game. Um, I may honestly I may take the Bills in a teaser, tease that down to like within a touchdown, put it in a parlay and call it a day. Um, but yeah, that's probably what I'll do if you want to play it safer, because still over a touchdown spread, no matter how certain it seems, is still risky in the NFL. Moving right along to probably the game you have your eyes on the most. Um, Vikings -3 against the Giants. This is in Minnesota. I'll let you take this right away. Does Danny Dimes get it done in the wild card? You have the floor.
I mean, like my bet's gonna be Giants money line, just because it's got to ride with the boys. But I don't know. Like I don't like their decision last week to completely sit Jones and Saquon.
I thought that was. I mean, you.
Like, yes, keep them healthy, okay, but I think just having like real game reps, like going into the playoffs, like even like a series or two, would be like is enough to like keep the juices flowing. Because I don't like the same thing. Like I don't necessarily like buys in like a playoff scenario because like you have rust, you lose that like momentum, like
Yeah,
preparation going into games, and like obviously like a win to keep the momentum, like actual momentum going, proves huge. Like obviously March Madness is its own other scenario, but just in a matter of like, okay, like you just build confidence, build confidence, build confidence. We said it, or like we talked about it with Chad, like we what two after the call to go for 2 points against Titans
hmm,
for this Giants team. But it's like you build and build and build all year, and then it's like, okay, you sit your guys against, okay, you have the 6 seed locked up for sure. The Eagles were playing their guys; they were playing to win
Jalen
home field
Hurts.
advantage. So
Yeah,
it's like yes, they would be like you're theoretically risking injury by playing like your top guys, but it's like they would be getting better reps against better talent than they would going in practice. So like that's my one gripe with the decision making. This isn't Kirk Cousins at 1 o'clock. It's also not him in prime time. It's in the middle, like a 4:30 game. So like, there's that other piece. Like, I'm going to be taking, yeah, it's Giants money line. Like ride or die with the boys.
yeah.
Rather be confident in the squad, not taking the points.
Hmm. I was kind of bummed that the Giants like essentially rolled over. As like a Eagles
They covered.
supporter. Like it's like not bummed because obviously we took the first seed, but like at least that's like like the Giants and Eagles hate each other, and just for like that the Giants like just kind of show their belly for a game, even though it doesn't mean anything in the end. Like
They showed their
some people
belly.
take it though, you know what I mean? So like the Lions beat the Packers for no other reason, just to beat the Packers and knock them out of the playoffs. You know what I'm saying? So like I feel like I'm surprised the Giants didn't take that same feeling to try to take them up to at least, even though they weren't going to knock the Eagles out of the playoffs, to maybe at least deny them the number one seed.
But even so, what and like then again, kind of don't hate it because it's like completely meaningless
I
game,
I, I get it entirely.
and
I'm
it's
just trying
like
to play contrarian to
it's foresight.
yeah.
Thinking
I'm
like
trying to play
that game
contrarian.
doesn't
That's
matter. We're looking at the playoffs. Like we don't care about the Eagles. Like maybe Dable was thinking like, okay, when we advance in the playoffs, the Eagles probably aren't going to be around that long
all.
enough to play in the NFC Championship game or whatever. Could be what they were thinking. Who knows?
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, the first round bye helps, but then it's that rest versus rust. Because some teams that clinched were at least playing their guys for like a quarter or two, and then sitting them. I think like for like that, what you said, like at least
Mhm.
the benefit of some real game reps before calling it a day. You know what I mean? But that's literally at the end of the day, you're right. It means nothing. It's just more of a talking point for us, um,
Right.
to kind of say whatever. But in terms of this game, I feel like these teams have been finishing on opposite trajectories. I know that the Vikings have won 3 out of the last 2, but just for some reason it hasn't felt that way. I don't know why. I
It
mean, the
never does.
I mean the Vikings are 13-4, so their 2 losses are coming in their last 5. Obviously they lost to the Eagles on Monday Night Football, but I mean the Vikings are a team to not, obviously 13-4, so you can't take them lightly. Justin Jefferson, Adam Thielen, T.J. Hawkinson. Um, so I have a question. Who you putting on Jay Jettis?
I don't fucking know. I think it's one of those things where, like, all right, where I don't know, it's like a situation in basketball. Like, you have that one guy that's gonna go crazy, like Shaquille O'Neal in his prime. Like,
Mhm.
Shaq's gonna go crazy. You're not gonna actually stop him, but limit him enough and make sure the rest of the guys don't get it going enough to beat you. Where, like, you could contain it, like, he's gonna get his, but don't let him go too crazy. But also don't let him get the rest of the team involved. I think that's got to be the game plan. Like,
Mhm.
have enough focus on Jefferson that, like, he's not putting up a 200-yard game, but also, like, don't let Thielen start balling, Hawkinson, the rest of the
Dalvin
crew. Like, and, I mean, that's also me. Like, I'm not an X's and O's football guy, but, like, kind of like my outlook on it.
Yeah, no, I totally get that.
Enough of a
Um,
talent, and it's like, nah. But
you
this
know
is
what?
also a Vikings team that started 7-1 on the season at a negative point differential. So with them, you never know what's going to happen.
That's true too. Exactly. This is the same Vikings team that came back from 33 nothing. So anything is possible with that team. But that being said, um, you can't doubt the juice that a team like the Giants has in the playoffs. We've seen it before with Eli Manning and with the boys. It doesn't matter what the record is of an NFC East team going into the playoffs. What matters is where they finish. And
Like, there's that, but also, like, one thing that just popped into my head, like, the Giants are really a team that has nothing to lose
no,
because it's like, all
well,
right,
I mean, other than a chance to play the Super Bowl, but even then, like,
no, but I'm
what's the
saying, like,
expectation
grand
to be
scheme of
there
things.
already? That's more like, I guess that's what you're trying to get at.
First year head coach, you have a young team, Saquon coming off of, like, a series of injuries, Daniel Jones, who pretty much a lot of people wrote off as like an absolute bust in the league, having like a pretty decent season, like enough where like a lot of, like, I know a lot of Giants fans, they were at one point saying, like, get rid of this guy. I was saying that too. Now he's done enough this season where it's like, who else are you replacing him with? Like, whoever, like, if you get, like, they obviously don't have a great draft pick to get a good like cornerstone QB. So it's like, all right, you're realistically going to be riding this with this team, going to build upon this. And it's like, no one thought the Giants were going to be in this situation going into the season. So they're going to come out here and ball out or
Hmm.
do what they can. Like, I think Dable's going to have this team ready. They've bought into him in this first season. So I'm excited to see where this game goes.
Well, speaking of Danny Dimes, do you think that he's safe for another year?
Yeah, like, they're not going to franchise him, but, like, I think they're going to re-sign him to, like, a couple year deal.
But you don't think that, like, I mean, say for, I mean, obviously you're a Giants fan, but say for next year the Giants just absolutely blow and they get like a top 5. You don't think they're going to take a quarterback?
Well, like, yeah, I think like, it ultimately depends. Like, if
Mhm.
you
I'm just like I'm just like I said, I'm just trying to ask
even if
questions for
you
the sake
do
of asking
take a
questions.
quarterback, like, likelihood you're not, like, if your team's bad, you're not going to throw a rookie in and expect great success.
Hmm.
Like, you saw how bad Trevor Lawrence was last year.
Yeah,
Like, and, like, you don't want to have a Jets situation year after year with these young quarterbacks that don't pan out and need a scenery change. So it's like whatever happens, I think he'll be with the team starting for most of the next 2 years at least.
yeah. I'll say this for sure that he's definitely made Is it? I mean, is it still the same GM now that is who drafted him? Like you guys haven't
Yeah,
changed GMs?
Gettleman, not Bozo.
Wait, what did you say?
Gettleman.
So is it still the same guy?
Yeah, I think so.
So, like I would say that GM is like slowly year after year, like Daniel Jones is kind of making a case for maybe it wasn't like we all saw that we're taking this Duke quarterback like to be the next quarter to replace Eli Manning. You know what I mean? It's like, what is that all about? And then
Yeah,
like, Danny Dimes is like slowly making a case for himself as to why they picked him up in the first place. You know what I mean?
I do, but I think like the track record of his decision making in the draft is like if there's a large enough sample size and like enough moves, not just draft picks, but also like Kenny Galladay signings
Yeah, that
that
was
like worked out against him. Where it's like if you're the Mara family and like you're the rest of the Giants management, like you can't just take his words, his desires at face value. You have to have like actual analytics, actual statistics, teams worth of people dedicating the entire football season, not watching NFL games, like scouting people.
yeah,
Like it's not just gonna be him running the show. Like there's gonna be give and take. There's gonna be actual discussions about it, and like any decisions moving forward.
yeah.
Like
But I
he
think
doesn't
that
have one. He's not like he can't just say like, oh, I'm gonna draft like a Southern Missouri State quarterback.
no, I know. I'm
Right.
just like I think that Daniel Jones is showing his value
Yeah,
more and more.
I think he's showing value. He's not showing number 6 overall value.
No, this is
I don't
true,
think.
but listen, listen. I'm a known Giants hater, and I just I hate to give the Giants any credit, but at least Daniel Jones is making a believer out of some people. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
better than him being an absolute scrub.
Yeah, this is true. Hey, you're in the playoffs, and we're gonna take. And listen, just after all decision, I may take the Giants -3, but at the end of the day, I think I'm gonna have to go with the Vikings and the points here. I don't want to be wrong, but if I am, I'll be happy for you. So I'll take the Giant. I'll take the Vikings and the points, and see what happens after the fact, and probably the under. If this is a high number, I'll probably take the under, unless you think that the Gi. I mean, do you think that I mean, as far as I think the X factor for that point total is the Giants. You think they're going to add or detract from that total?
Giants have scored 30 points, what, like now once in the last 4 seasons?
So I'll take the under.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
I think that
think
might honestly be my official play. If we're being 100% honest, over a side here is the under, and I'm going to lean Vikings -3. That's the play. That's my official play. I'll take the under in the Giants Vikes. Thanks very much. Thanks for coming. I feel like this game doesn't need much debate, much analytics. The Ravens kind of found their way here in the playoffs. Unfortunately, the Steelers didn't get hot quick enough. The Steelers didn't find success quick enough. So unfortunately, the Ravens squeaked in when they're kind of, their franchise is, in question. It's right. Lamar's done. He had to. Doesn't he have to have surgery?
yeah,
Yeah,
I don't even know.
I
Doesn't
think it's
matter.
a knee or something. Like I think so. I heard something about a PCL ligament might be torn, so that might be surgical. But still, the Ravens just somehow limped their way into a wild card spot. But I think that Joe Shiesty and the boys are gonna put it on them. That's my honest opinion. That doesn't for me. There's not much to analyze here. The Bengals have had they did because they didn't play. Um, did they play this past weekend? Oh yeah, they did. They played. Who did they play? They played the. Who did they play? They played somebody because I remember. Oh, they played the Ravens. Am I going crazy? No.
Pats.
I am what?
Wait,
Oh, they
no,
played the,
yeah,
they played the Ravens just now. They played the Ravens last weekend. Yeah.
yeah,
Okay. So I'm not going crazy. Okay. Yeah. So I mean, obviously, I mean, the Bengals literally just covered 8.5 points last week.
yeah. I mean, I'm pretty sure this line opened up at like -6.5 earlier this week. But
Yeah, it opened at 6, so you're right.
yeah, like it's gonna be Bengals for me.
Yeah.
Like Tyler Huntley, have fun starting in the playoffs, but this isn't a Ravens team like Ravens defense that we've seen.
No. Oh my God,
The
no.
weapons, like obviously things haven't worked out well for the Ravens, but you got to get someone to get Mark Andrews the ball.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, they have pieces. I mean, they have their running back committee. They have Mark Andrews. They have some decent defensive players, Roquan Smith, Patrick Queen, but they don't have enough.
No,
Um,
Bengals, they're juiced up.
yeah, they're ready to go. They're ready to repeat in the Super Bowl. I said Joe Shiesty and the gang. I may tease us down a point or two to get maybe 6.5. I feel like I could still get a decent play there. Um, but yeah, I like the Bengals here. To get it done. It's plain and simple. I don't think the Ravens have it. If we're being honest, I would have preferred to see the Steelers in this spot, but like I said, the Steelers made it happen too late. It's just the truth. Um, yeah, so we're just gonna. Anything else for that one before we move on to the last game of the weekend?
Nothing else there.
Perfect. So I think this is definitely like the most enticing matchup of Wild Card Weekend, 100%. The Cowboys -2.5 against the Bucks down in Tampa Bay. Here's the thing: we thought we might not see it, but I guess I was silly to even ponder the idea of Tom Brady not being in the playoffs. Which is I feel like it's a whole new season for him when he's here. I think whatever happened in the regular season is just kind of might as well have never happened. And this is this is Tom's time, but I want to hear what you have to say here.
I can't find it in myself to bet against Tom Brady, but I also don't know that the Buccaneers defense can do enough against the Cowboys.
Yeah,
Like that's kind of like my like big concern. Like if I'm thinking about betting Buccaneers here,
but we also think about it's Cowboys in the playoffs too.
I know,
That's the other
I
thing.
know. Yeah.
That's the thing, is that because of their playoff track record, no matter how many times we've seen them look so good coming into the playoff, you know what I mean?
Buccaneers plus the points.
It was because I said Cowboys in the playoffs. Is that what made you just kind of be like, yeah?
You reminded me. Like I wasn't sold on anything. Tom Brady in the playoffs. Tom Brady at home. Yeah, at home or is this in
Well,
Dallas?
this is in Tampa
Yeah, this is in Tampa. Tom Brady at home.
as a
It
dog.
is. As a dog. He's got a new girlfriend, I'm pretty sure.
Oh,
I thought he did. Like
I didn't hear that, but that's
model, like
I,
27 years
okay.
old.
That's that. Oh, good lord! I hope that's not true. Um, but yeah, I'm right there with you. I think I like the Buccaneers. Listen, if he was willing to just throw his entire family away, he's got to do something, or he's gonna look like an idiot. You know
Doesn't
what I
matter.
mean?
He's playing another 5 years.
Yeah. He looks. It looks bad on. It looks bad anyway, regardless of how the season turns out. But yeah, I like the Bucks here, plus the points. Um, Over under. I'm not gonna touch it. Could go either way. Because Dallas has a great defense. Bucks have a great defense too. But I'll say this: even if the Cowboys have a lead and the game is close in the end, we know who's coming out on top. Let's be real.
Mhm.
Um, this could be a runaway with the Bucks. We'll have to see. But yeah, with the given Tom Brady's playoff history and the Cowboys playoff history, I gotta take the Bucks plus the points here at home. Now this could be Vegas bait, because why on earth would Tom Brady be the home dog in the playoffs? But
They look bad this
I'm biting on it. I'm sorry, I have to. But yeah, I think that's the right play.
Agreed.
But yeah, that dude, wild card weekend is upon us. You know, football season is slowly coming to a close. Only like a month or so left to the Super Bowl. So I have a question for you. Who are your realistic participants of the Super Bowl? Who do you think of these teams? Do you think the AFC is still up for grabs, or is that guaranteed to the Chiefs at this point? I mean, nothing's guaranteed. But who are your like any dark horse participants in the Super Bowl? What are your thoughts here?
I don't think it's like dark horse. I don't like. I'm not bought into the Eagles at all.
Killing me.
Realism.
I
That's
get it.
what it is. Nah, I don't know. Like I think it's super up in the air. I think Jaguars are winning the Super Bowl.
Dude, that'd be listen, that could be crazy. You know, even to win the AFC would be monster because you think of the Jags have the probably, I mean, the toughest path possible because the Jags would have to beat the Chargers, and then they have to then the next weekend beat the Chiefs, and then it'd be, you know, and then either the Bills or the Bengals is how that would work out. So because the winner of Jags Chargers gets Kansas City in the divisional round. So we'll see. I mean, you can't. Wait, no, am I understanding that correctly? No, I don't think I am understanding that correct. Yeah, is it winner of Jags Chargers or no? Or is it the lowest seed?
Bro, I don't know.
Okay,
Matrix. I'm just focus. Like all my focus is on this weekend.
that's fair. That's
Nothing
totally
moving
fair.
forward.
Let's not go going off on too many tangents here. We'll take it one week at a time. Um, I hear you, but yeah, I want to see the Giants do it. I just don't know if they can this weekend, Connor. I'm just saying.
Hating, hating.
Listen, I love to hate the Giants. It's a fun thing to do, but I want to thank everybody for showing love. This will be dropping the day of the first wild card games on Saturday. It's currently Friday as we're recording right now. We want to ask everybody to like, comment, and subscribe if you have not already. We appreciate everybody's support. Um, Make sure to follow us on Twitter and Instagram at _pickin winners and check out our blogs and everything coming out on pickingwinners.org. Also, shout out to Men of Order, who we partner with very regularly. We do plenty of things with their channel, with Chad, with AG, with all of them. So show them some love. Make sure to show love specifically to Keith and Tom for their, as always, amazing UFC locks. They're picking about 70+%. You can't get that anywhere else except picking winners. With all that being said, let's have a great wild card weekend. Connor, it was great
Let's
seeing
go
you.
Giants.
We out.